There's new releases, but I don't know that there's any that we need to talk about.
I looked
There
through this
are, but
list.
there aren't.
It's like the Legend of Heroes Trails Through Daybreak is getting good reviews, but that's a Japanese RPG that neither of you have interest in, and
No.
I only have passing interest in because I've played a lot of the old Legend of Heroes games, but none of the Trails games. But it's getting good reviews,
Okay.
so there's that.
These Switch games are as hilarious as ever. By the way, I cut and pasted this Switch list into ChatGPT and said, "Oh, just make up some fake games and insert them into this list in alphabetical order." And it did it, and I just couldn't find them. There was no way.
You couldn't find it.
It was just like, it did such a good job. I looked at the list like 5 times, and eventually I found them, but it's like, we're not going to play that game because it didn't make any clever, funny ones.
Gotcha.
Let's go to Wombat's Fortnightly News because that's where the action is. There's a lot of big stories.
Well, they added a new mode to Fortnite.
That's not one of them.
Fortnite Reload? You're not into Fortnite Reload?
Oh, I don't know that I'm into it or not. I don't. Is it a big deal in the Fortnite universe? I don't feel like it is. Oh, it is.
A big deal.
Okay.
It's a big deal in the Fortnite universe because the player count had been dropping. And when this came out, the player count basically went right back up to where it used to be, basically in a day.
Oh,
which
okay.
was kind of crazy.
Why?
Well, it's because of this, and they toned down the vehicles.
They toned down the vehicles, and then they changed rank, and then they took vehicles out of ranked.
Wait. How did they tone down the vehicles? What does that mean?
They just
they explode quicker?
No, well, I mean, yeah, they explode quicker. They just make it so that it's not the only way to win in this season. So now it's like it's really inconsequential. You could either do a vehicle thing or not. Like, there might be a slight
They're just not
advantage.
as powerful anymore?
It's not as powerful anymore.
All right.
You can take them down with normal weapons.
Got it. Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, and the player count has kind of leveled back down also. I should say the player count in Reload is not where it was when it launched anymore, but it's still higher than it was before Reload existed, which I think is obviously what they were going for. Because at one point they were down, like you'd turn it on, they'd be like, again, any game would kill for these numbers. If you look at the NPD numbers or whatever it's called now.
Of course.
Fortnite was still the most played game on PlayStation and Xbox last month, but they were down to like 300,000 concurrent players on a weekday evening, which is low. And then they shot back up to like 6, 7. I think they were even like at 1 million at one point again, but now they've kind of leveled down to like the 5, 6 range. So higher than it was.
Sure.
Not as high as it's been, but still, it's a lot of.
So Chibi, Reload is kind of like a combination of the battle royale and the team deathmatch type of thing.
It's
called Team Rumble.
It's a much smaller map, and when you die, you respawn.
They've done this in like Call of Duty or somewhere.
Until like the last. Like there's a certain point where he gets down and then you don't respawn.
Right. Yeah. It's just Call of Duty. Yeah. By the way, just Painkiller in the chat pointed out the First Descendant as a new release. Did either of you guys play it? I downloaded and played it for like 3 seconds and immediately deleted it.
What is it?
It's like a third-person loot shooter.
Oh.
But as soon as I saw it was like it looked like Fortnite, but not. I was like, I don't need this in my life. Who needs this?
There.
I just assumed it was first person. Game Pass is getting the tiered treatments and price hikes and all this good stuff. Thank God we didn't have a complicated enough chart for Game Pass, but now we do. Just like everything else, we can divide this up and tell you what you get in different tiers.
Everybody's main complaint about Xbox, I think, to this point was just it was too simple of a scheme. For this stuff.
Right. They wanted the PlayStation method where you can't even remember what the tiers are called or what you're getting in every tier. But I guess the big change now is that in the highest tier, that's the only way you're going to get the day one releases, the Call of Duties, the Microsoft published games, the Activision published games. And that's the most expensive tier. And they're raising the price.
Move. Yeah.
And they're raising the price. So, And of course, people are not happy about it. You see people are posting.
Is this the time to do this?
When they're already taking out?
Yeah.
Well, when is a good time to do this?
I think the time to do this is maybe when you are launching something, like, or you have additional benefits that you are throwing in.
Not at the end of a console cycle.
Not at the end of a console cycle where you're trying to recoup costs from your Activision purchase.
When they said there's all these people tweeting out the quotes from Phil Spencer, like from 2 years ago, saying we're not raising the price of Game Pass because of this Activision.
The crazy thing, I was thinking about this today. Like, think about how many years video games were $50. That you could just go buy a video game for $50.
Mm-hmm.
It was like close to like 3 decades, right?
Yep.
At least like somewhere in that realm.
You're talking about the age
like, people
where
are gonna say like, oh well, whatever. Some Super Nintendo games are like $80 or whatever. But
sure,
like games, the standard price for games for 3 decades, maybe more, was $50 per game. And now we can't even get it through a generation of subscription prices without hikes on subscription price.
Not just hikes, but like taking features of those passes and putting them behind it's another paywall, a different paywall.
But I mean, I don't think I've ever paid full price for Game Pass. So the real question is how is this going to affect CD keys or Newegg deals or, all of that? I mean, are those still going to exist? I mean, I got my last thing online I renewed through January because mine was about up, and I paid about $10 a month.
It just screams to me, similar to what Chief was saying. It screams to me we're not making enough money and we're not concerned about attracting new customers.
Right, and they're not worried about people.
Which they're not, by the way, at this point in the console life cycle, right? Like they know, like
who's going to spend $20 a month to play Call of Duty through the cloud on their Amazon Fire Stick? How many people are going to do that?
Oh, speaking of that, Alex writes in, I bought a Fire Stick to try Xbox Live cloud gaming. Today, I dropped the Fire Stick off at UPS to return to Amazon. Cloud gaming is horrible, and I know it's different from remote play, but it's just not good at all.
I've been saying that for a while now. Cloud gaming is not fun for the most part.
Have you tried it with your?
It has its benefits in that if you want to demo or trial a game,
sure,
right?
Yes, sure.
Like I'm playing that whatever that Nickelodeon Super Smash Brothers thing is that just came to Game Pass. Plays fine for that on cloud. Like
if you don't want to, for something where you don't really care, but
where you don't really care, cloud's perfect.
But also, like it's not going to take too long to download that game at this point. At least on my connection, it's going to take like
it
5
still
minutes.
takes longer than just hitting the like cloud button.
Sure.
Like it's like, oh, the kids want to play something. I don't really want to take the space up on my hard drive or the time on this. Here's SpongeBob.
Sure.
Like battle up against some Patrick or whoever else is in that game.
You're not going to be wanting to play the latest Call of Duty that way.
Right.
No,
but it is good. Like that's the prime way that I use the cloud gaming. It's like games are on Game Pass and you're like, I just want to see what this is actually like. And then like you play a little bit of it and then you make a decision of like,
will I download
am I sticking with this? Do I download it or not?
Yeah. Fair enough.
And most of the time it's like, no, I don't download it. And then I'm better off for just playing it on the cloud version.
But that doesn't help what Microsoft's trying to do with the Amazon Fire Stick version of cloud gaming.
No, it does not.
It does not help at all. What you're saying is the exact opposite of what they think people are going to do, which is spend $20 a month to play Call of Duty through their Amazon Fire TV stick streaming, so they could be like, "This sucks." I can't imagine how that's going to be really.
But then
playable.
They don't have to sell a console at a loss.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And it doesn't cost them any money probably to set this up either. But whatever.
Sure. And how maybe in like a few years the latency would be low enough, for more people. In some places it probably works great. Like depending on if you have a wired connection and your internet set up, it could work really great. I mean, obviously,
a wired connection on your Fire Stick.
Well, no, but this service, this Game Pass service, they have it like it's built into TVs. It's the same shit, right? It's like the same app. It's just an app. So like, I don't know if the LG has it, but some of the Samsung, I think, has it, right?
Samsung, I think, has it, yeah.
So it's just the same thing. So a lot of people plug their TVs in, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a weird thing. I don't know what I think it's what they need is a yearly subscription model, not just a monthly one. $20 a month is a lot, but if you could get it for $150 a year, I think people would probably buy into that.
Also, they got rid of that?
They got rid of the yearly now too, or
there's never been yearly Ultimate.
6 months or something, or what are they?
Nope.
Nothing. 3?
Never. Nope.
1?
Yep.
Shit.
You could get 3 months of like regular Game Pass, but not Ultimate, I believe.
Oh, is that true?
I feel like I got a good deal on Ultimate at some point where
definitely I did that. We all did that. We all stacked up like some cheap months, but I don't know what the deal is now. Now I'm sure I'm getting raped. I'm sure I'm getting just auto renewed. I don't know where I am.
It's the same. It's the same monthly price as Corncob TV or whatever that on that
Corncob. He finally got a hit on Corncob TV.
Yeah, exactly. But there was a yearly plan. I think that's sort of what's missing, and I think it would help.
But they don't want people, when they raise the rates next time, they don't want people stacking up again. At the lower rates.
Yes, they do. They 100% do, because they want people to continue to have the service. And if you could really, basically, they're tricking you into thinking, "Oh, I better get the next 5 years of Game Pass in there." So before they raise the rates again, do you know who the big winner is?
Sure, they get a lot of cash up front. Sure, it can't hurt. It can't hurt.
Exactly. So why not have a yearly model? Why not have a yearly model where people might stack it because they're afraid the price might go up? It's just silly. It makes no sense. Even when I tweeted this out, the Matt Piscatella from Circana, he liked and retweeted my tweet when I said, "Why is there no yearly?" So that's how I know I'm right. When the analysts agree.
I hate that they changed their name to Circana, by the way.
I know, me too.
Sounds like a seafood restaurant.
I think it sounds like an insect. But
nice.
Yeah.
But all right. Anyway.
And another thing, couldn't Xbox just announce all the bad moves at once and get them out of the way rather than doing them every 2 months? We get a new
They like to be in the news.
They had that really good whatever showcase
right. They announced it before that.
And then they go and screw it up by going, "Oh, by the way, we're raising the prices to, 20," because $20 a month it's weird because $17 is still a lot, but it just doesn't sound as bad as 20.